Hello and welcome to the podcast. Apologies because today's episode is an out and about episode, so expect to hear some noise in the background. You're going to hear cars driving past and other people trying to have conversations. So, what I want us to look at today is how to talk about your business on social media. I'm talking particularly about social media DMs, direct messages. So you're having a chat with someone on Instagram, having a chat with someone on TikTok, on LinkedIn, or whatever, and you guys have made a connection. Somebody's in your DM, and then the person asks you, "What do you do?" Or the person wants to know more about your business. So that's what I want to look at today. How do we talk about our business when we're talking to strangers on social media? Now, the reason why this is what we're looking at today is because people reach out to me on LinkedIn and I accept connection requests from everyone. And I also try to engage in conversations with everyone because I'm always looking for opportunities to spread the gospel about my podcast and about what it is that I do for a living. But of course, um, if I start a conversation with someone and I make it all about me, that's going to be disingenuous. And then, of course, I'm also going to be a liar because I tell you people that that is not how you start off conversations or business relationships with people by talking about yourself all the time. This is me, this is me, this is me, this is what I do. So, what I do is exactly what I advise people to do, which is you make the conversation about them. You try and tease out things about their own business. Now, of course, the more the person gets to talk, the more I get to see if we're going to be a good fit, if they're going to be able to benefit from my services, those sorts of things. So get people talking about themselves. Now, this is the problem. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been trying to chat with people about their businesses for a very long time. And to be honest, in fact, 100%, I won't even say 99%, 100% of you listening right now do not know how to talk about your business. When a stranger hits you up on social media, you will give some very canned responses, and they're not helpful with moving the conversation forward. So you just give a kind of basic answer, and it's not very helpful in moving the conversation forward. You're not going to be able to figure out if this person, if this guy, or if this girl who is in your DM right now, if this could be a potential customer, if this could be a potential stakeholder, business partner, whatever it is, you don't know. Now, let me give an example. I was having a chat with someone, and this was just yesterday. And she works with Business Elite Africa. In fact, I can say the company with my full chest because I doubt she listens to the podcast. Because we got connected on LinkedIn because she saw a LinkedIn recommendation, and so she added me. So that's how we got talking. Oh, and by the way, madam, just in case you happen to come across this episode, no vex. You and I, we just met, and it was too early for me to start preaching at you. So when you gave your answer, I just said, okay, cool. And I just left it like that. And I figured, let me come over here on the podcast episode and speak to other people who already know me, who already have a relationship with me, and, who will not mind receiving this sort of content. So, madam, just in case you come across this podcast episode, I beg no vex. I'm not trying to drag you. I'm just trying to use the encounter that we had to try and teach people about how you can use your social media direct messages to start some helpful conversations. Okay, sorry about the noise that is starting in the background. There's a school not far from here. Sorry, not a school. There's an Anglican church not far from where I am, and the people are practicing with their marching band. So expect to hear some drums coming in. They're still far off in the distance, but eventually they're going to get here, and then you start hearing the loud drumming noises. Okay, so this lady now, she's with Business Elite Africa, and I've been seeing some of their stuff on LinkedIn. I never clicked on it, because they put up stuff, but I never clicked on it. So I was curious. I really was curious. She connected with me. I was like, hey, thanks for connecting. How'd you get to know about me? LinkedIn recommendation or from the podcast? She was like, oh no, not the podcast, LinkedIn recommendation. And I was like, oh cool. And then I said, I noticed that you work with Business Elite Africa. And I asked the question, what do you people do over there on Business Elite Africa? Now this is where most of you mess up. She works with Business Elite Africa. A stranger has slid into her DM to ask her, what do you people do? at Business Elite Africa. So, anybody who has a business development mindset, your focus will always be, okay, I'm talking with somebody right now. Could this person be a fit for our product or service? Could this person be a future collaborator or a business partner? Could this person be a future, like, you never know. So you want to keep conversations open. You want to keep conversations going. But of course, if you find out that this person is not worth talking to, then you shut the conversation down. That's not a problem. So I asked her, "Oh, I see you're with Business Elite Africa. What do you people do at Business Elite Africa?" Now, this was her response, and it's the same sort of thing that most of you would give. This is what she wrote. She wrote, "We are an online media publication firm." That's what she wrote. I asked her, "So you're with Business Elite Africa. What do you people do at Business Elite Africa?" And her response was, "Is this five words? I mean 6 words. We are an online media publication firm. Full stop." That was her response. She didn't give any other context. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, because like I'm trying to have conversations with people online, but honestly, I'm not going to have conversation with someone if it seems like a jam, like I'm writing jam, like the person is not even in the conversation. So typically, when people just give one word responses like that, I'm like, I beg, I'm not the one who's going to teach you how to talk about your business. So usually, I just end it by saying, "Oh, okay, cool, thumbs up," and then I free it, I just leave it. So the problem with this response is, she said, "Online media publication firm." Okay, there's no context, there's no background, and then there's no way to continue the conversation from there. So, like, if I ask you now, "What do you do?" and you say, "Oh, I'm a makeup artist," that's all. Like, how's the conversation supposed to go on from there? Or I ask you, "What do you do?" You say, "Oh, I'm an architect." Oh, really? Like, how's the conversation supposed to continue from there? So, just responding to people like this when they slide into your DM and they say, "Oh, what do you do?" You say, "I'm an online media publication firm." Ah, well, there's no way to continue the conversation from there, really. So, this is an old formula. The formula is not mine. And to be honest, I can't remember who I got it from, but it's very, very helpful. And this is the formula for how you should respond when people ask, "What do you do?" And the formula is this: you just simply say, "I do X for people who, I do X for Y people who Z." I repeat, "I do X for Y people who Z." So that's the formula. You just simply remove the letters X, Y, and Z and substitute it for the relevant parts. Okay, so now, what she could have said when I asked her, "Oh, you're a Business Elite Africa. What do you people do at Business Elite Africa?" Instead of saying we're an online media publication firm, she could have used the formula, "I do X for Y people who Z." And she could have said something like, "We provide news and market insights for African entrepreneurs and corporate executives who want to create wealth and look for high growth business opportunities." I repeat, I asked her, "What do you do?" She said, "We're an online media publication firm." You can't carry on the conversation like that. If you use this formula of "I do X for Y people who Z," she could have said, and by the way, I'm taking this information from her own website anyway, so it's information that is already there. She could have said, "We provide news and market insights for African entrepreneurs and corporate executives who want to create wealth and look for high growth business opportunities." So that's the first part of the formula. Now, the second part of the formula is this. Remember, when people slide into your DM and ask, "What do you do?" For those of us who are mindful about business development, we're trying to figure out, who is this person? Why are they talking to me? What are they on about? Could this person be a business partner in the future? Could this person be a client? Could this person be a customer? On and on and on. So it's not just enough to use the formula, "I do X for Y people who Z," but then you try and get some feedback. You ask a question to keep the conversation going, because you're not going to be able to figure out who is this person until you keep the conversation going. Now, when she said online media publication firm, and I said, "Oh, okay, cool, thumbs up," she will not get to know if I could have been an advertiser on their platform, or if I could have been a contributor on their platform, or if I could have been a trading partner on their platform, or if, like, she will never know because she said online media publication firm. And I responded, oh, okay, cool, thumbs up. So if she says, we provide news and market insights for African entrepreneurs and corporate executives who want to create wealth and look for high growth business opportunities, one question would have been, do you fall into any of these buckets? That's her asking me. And the conversation would have to continue. And I could have said any number of things. I could have said, not particularly. And then she'd be like, okay, but I see on your podcast that I see on your profile that you're a business consultant and you run a podcast. So are you saying that you're not keeping an eye out for news and market insights, that affect your profession, or whatever, Sha? But there's going to be ways that the conversation can continue. If she says what she says, and then she now asks, do you fall into any of these buckets? Basically, trying to now ask me whether I'm an entrepreneur, or trying to ask me whether I'm a corporate executive, or to ask me whether I'm somebody who wants to create wealth, or to ask me whether I'm looking for high growth business opportunities. You see how it works? So, those sorts of questions, or trying to ask whether I'm somebody who is looking to diversify my investment portfolio or something. Basha, what do? You use the formula, then you try and get some feedback to see how the person relates. If the person relates, good, you will continue having conversations. If the person doesn't, then you kill it. Because some people are asking what do you do just because they're curious or they're trying to be polite or something. Some people be honest. Like me, after a while I get honest, like, well, you know what, actually I was just trying to make casual conversation. Like, for me, I'll be honest. Some people might not be, but eventually you get the vibe and then you exit. Like for me, when she said online media publication firm, I was not going to try and tease a conversation after her. Tease a conversation out of her. So I just said, oh, okay, cool, thumbs up. And then I left. So this is a much more productive way to talk about your business on social media, particularly when you are in the DMs and somebody's asking you, what do you do? You want to say the service you provide. You want to say who you provide the service for, or why people are interested in the service. When you do that and you're having a conversation with someone, it gives people all the information that they need to be able to continue the conversation further, or to be able to opt into a deeper relationship with you, or they get enough so they know that let me just bounce. There's nothing here. So in this case now, just in case there's anybody listening to this podcast episode right now and you work with Business Elite Africa, the next time somebody asks you, oh, Business Elite Africa, what do you do? Don't respond by saying we're an online media publication firm. Don't do that. It is okay to say we provide news and market insights for African entrepreneurs and corporate executives who want to create wealth and look for high growth business opportunities. Then you get some feedback. And for those of you who are listening who happen to work in Business Elite Africa, all this information that I got is already on your website anyway. So even if you don't agree with my own formulation, right? All you have to do is just go to your website and try and fool around. The formula is I do X for Y people who Z. So instead of I'm a makeup artist, it could be I am a, how will I put it now? I'm a wedding makeup artist for discerning Nigerian brides who don't like to go with the trends, something like that. That is a whole lot better than just saying I'm a makeup artist. You say, okay, I'm a makeup artist, okay, and so. But if you say I'm a makeup artist for Nigerian Igbo brides who are discerning and who don't like to go with trends, the person will say, trends, care. So there are trends in wedding makeup. You say, there are trends. If you didn't know, just come over here. Let me show you something on my Instagram real quick. This was the trend for this year. This was the trend for last year. This was the trend for the year before. And you continue to talk and talk and talk and talk. These kinds of introductions or these kinds of ways of talking about your business, it leaves room for the conversation to flow. And as the conversation they flow, you will now know, okay, this person is a potential customer. Let me continue. Or this person, an investor. Okay, let me continue. Or this person is, like, you never know. But of course, you'll now also know that, you know what, there's nothing here. This person is not interesting and there's no connection. So let me bounce. And then maybe that's the time when you now do what I did, which you say, oh, okay, cool, thumbs up. And then you won't respond again. Anyway, so that's it. Now, if you'd love to connect with me, of course, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. But I'm going to shut down my LinkedIn account soon because, to be honest, I'm tired of social media. So if you'd love to connect with me, you can call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080 So thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you all some other time.